With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Nothing is as it seems in liminal London. Hidden amongst everyday people are werewolves.
You'll be the werewolf then?
Yeah, I'm Mags.
Wizards.
Montgomery Archibald Barker at your bloody service.
And those cursed by the Fey monarchs of the city.
Declan Buchanan, PI. He has quite a large pair of antlers growing out of his forehead.
Join the unlikely misfits of liminal London as they work to take down the powers that claim to rule the city.
I think the Queen doesn't like you very much.
With incredible guest players like Johnny Chiodini.
You say there's Sludge?
Yeah, Sludge. Yeah, I'm the Sludge boy.
Love Sludge Boy.
No, again, I'm not that Sludge boy.
Grant Howitt.
Isaac Newton didn't study in Putney, did he?
Who's Isaac?
Oh my god.
And Shamini Bundell.
There's a magic community.
There is.
Yay, I'm in a magic community.
Go to realmspod.com or search Realms of Peril and Glory wherever you listen to podcasts to find this mysteriously magical actual play series.
In winter, they cluster around the queen and they vibrate to keep her warm.
How thoughtful.
When a new queen hatches, the first thing she does is sting all the other unborn queens to death.
I can see why you like them.
It isn't brutal. It's natural. It's simply what has to be done. Otherwise, they starve. We all do.
Hello, and welcome to Doom Coming, a podcast where we're watching every episode of Yellowjackets, one by one, spoiler-free. Nautical life calls to me. Plus, I hate bureaucratic red tape. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
I'm Kristin Russo, and Jenny Owen Youngs, it's not really a party without snacks, as I always say.
You always say that.
This week we are talking about the third episode of the second season of Yellowjackets, Digestif. Is that how you say it, Jenny?
I really hope so, because I'm about to say Digestif was written by Sarah L. Thompson and Amini Rosa, directed by Jeff W. Bird, and originally aired on April 7th, 2023.
Jenny's voice is an octave lower because she's been a bit sick.
I've been sick. I've been like incredibly sick for a week, and now I sound like Natalie.
I was gonna say you're really channeling young Nat, especially.
Yeah.
Usually
I
young
think
Van.
Things
today,
are gonna get
Nat.
a lot worse out here. A way to make everybody jealous one last time.
This episode aired first somewhere on Friday, April 7th, second somewhere else on Sunday, April 9th, 2023. I've been used to, as we covered Fallout, there being sort of this lengthy description on IMDb, and then Fallout being really funny with their like one sentence, like a few words with an ellipses or whatever. So it made me pay attention to the difference between the descriptions. And with Yellowjackets, it's really just confusing. Like the differences between these two descriptions are so weird. IMDb just has a little like there's just like these slight changes. IMDb. The girls experience an unusual hangover. Shauna learns the thrill of peer-to-peer car rentals. How can you even decipher what that means? Then on Showtime, they add Ty reflects. However, on IMDb, they say Natalie audits Lottie's class in emotional apology. Both of them, Misty hits the high seas, and the Yellowjackets throw a baby shower. Showtime decides that this baby shower is like no other. I just really would love to know what kind of editing process we're doing here between the two places. But either way, my biggest criticism, of course, is Shauna learns the thrill of peer-to-peer car rentals. That if you know, as somebody who writes the show descriptions for our podcast, Jenny, you can be funny if you'd like to be funny, but you also have to be clear. You can't just go off the rails and make me think, what car rental are we talking about?
Well, no, I feel like they deliberately write the episode descriptions for Showtime to be like cheeky, to be things you won't fully understand until after you've watched the episode, and then you'll be like, oh, I get it.
Spoilers. They veil the spoilers in their description.
Yeah.
I see. I also, this is kind of behind the scenes, Jenny, but I've put a link in our notes because season 1 had us often being like, so if the plane crashed this time, and soccer season was, like, we were always trying to figure out the math. And so I found a pretty good, this does not help us with soccer season, but I'm hoping we just don't have to talk about that anymore. But I found this pretty good Reddit thread that has the 96 to 98 timeline through the end of season 2.
Oh,
it's pretty comprehensive. So, you know, when we're counting, like I basically, when we get to Ben seeing the news report and he had just said May, I was like, was it May? So now when we have questions, we can go to this user, Kate with a C on Reddit. Thank you for your work, and check the timeline.
Oh, wow. This is so great. This feels like a real gift.
Yeah. The internet is a horrible place for so many reasons, but also does incredible work. Just like this.
One of the things I came across on Reddit while I was deep diving the sub in preparation for this taping was a really passionate post by someone who was like, I love the wilderness plot lines and scenes and whatever, and I hate watching the adult Yellowjackets. They're so boring. I think they were at episode 7 of season 1 when they wrote this, but still I'm like, interesting.
Do you think it's like how I felt when I watched My So-Called Life? Maybe it was a teen, and I was like, ugh, Patty and Graham.
It could be, but somebody in the comments was like, this sounds like it was written by a teen. And then a bunch of people in their 30s and 40s chimed in to be like, I also think the adults are boring.
Oh, my God. Oh, the internet. What a beautiful, horrific
You know what?
place.
The thing about the internet is that anyone can use it.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
And the solution. Kristin...
Yes.
According to Wikipedia, according to worddefinition.net, a digestif is an alcoholic beverage served with a meal traditionally believed to aid digestion, even though there is not strong evidence to support this. Okay. When served after a coffee course, it may be called pousse café. Pousse café. Sorry. Kristin, when we were getting ready to record, I was furiously looking up pronunciation videos on YouTube, and Kristin was overhearing them as I played the one for the word POUSSE over and over and over again.
I felt like I had fallen into some like French porn on Jenny's computer.
No,
I didn't know what was going on.
It's pousse, not pousse. I think it's pousse café. Anyway, digestifs are usually taken neat. I feel like these girls could have really used a round.
They really could. They deserve a drink. Why is no one? Oh, well, I guess.
Do you know what? What is your favorite digestif, Kristin?
Wow, I cannot wait to pull this clip so that everyone can see the way that Jenny is fucking dancing right now. I've never in my life seen anything like it. What, Jenny?
You don't have any guesses?
Wait, what was I don't even remember what the question was. You were dancing. I couldn't hear anything.
Your favorite digestif?
My favorite one?
Yeah.
Like in real life, or this is a joke to make fun of me? What is it, Jenny? What's
No
my
comment. It's Jepson's Malort.
Is it considered a digestif?
That's right. If
yeah,
only
my
these
favorite-
girls had had some Malort in the woods.
Yeah,
they
we got a
would've-
couple of questions about the Halloween hootenanny, which I think will have happened by the time this episode goes up. If anyone could be bribed with Malort, any of the judges, meaning you, me, Joanna, for the costume contest, and I said, well, at least one of the judges can be bribed to never vote for you, and at least one of the judges can be bribed to vote for you. So.
Yeah, Joanna's a wild card. Could go either
bring her
way.
a green apple. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Wow. So also, I just want to say this, like, scientific studies don't prove that digestifs help with blah, 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 reminds me of like telling people, I'm so sorry, but sometimes I smoke a cigarette, you know, and I used to smoke cigarettes, and cigarettes help you digest, like they don't might not help you digest, but they like settle your stomach. And I feel like there's probably no science that proves that either, but it's true. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good talk. Last episode of Doom Coming, we supported underage drinking, and this episode I'm telling you, cigarettes will help your stomach feel better.
Oh dear.
Someone cancel me. I need a nap.
Listen, let's turn our minds to more wholesome concerns, like perhaps some dripping fingy bones.
This is
drip.
Let me remind you that last episode I talked about this recap or whatever that was like they cut to the feast of blah 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 to not really show us whatever. I'm like, did you watch the next episode? This is like hideous
It's
realism.
It's rough. Okay. We cut between the fingy bones and Ben just looking real fucked up in his bed. Here's the deal. We get a bunch of scenes, flashbacky, dreamy, in Ben's mind scenes of him interacting with his boyfriend, Paul. Now, I think the show's premise here is that all of these really happened until we get to the last one, which is the fantasy that he never got on the plane.
Yeah, that feels right.
However, I feel like we are first clued in here at the very top that this sequence of scenes between the two of them is unmoored from reality when Paul says he is making clam chowder that looks exactly like chicken soup.
It's chicken soup, Jenny.
That is chicken soup.
I wrote chicken soup forgetting, and then he said it was clam chowder. I went back, I crossed out chicken soup. I said, okay, clam chowder? I'm not
You
sure.
are not going to win the chowder fest with that chicken soup, guy.
Not unless maybe one of the judges has a seafood allergy. So yeah, this. Okay, so first of all, normally I give you this whole rundown of how we're going to order our conversation. This episode was so beautifully stacked that we decided we would just simply go scene by scene. There's so many scenes that cut to other scenes with very clear intentionality. If I had moved anything, I would have never separated this intro. This is like a Ben and Paul sandwich on the dripping fingers of Jackie bread. Like, it's this beautiful, I mean, I know. Now I feel like fucking Chris Carter over here talking about a disgusting thing. And I'm like, it's beautiful, beautiful. But the hand drips, we'll talk about the flashback, but we get Ben's flashback. And when we go back into the woods, we get the dripping hand again to then fucking shift focus to Natalie. It's just gorgeous. It is gorgeous work all around, and I'm proud of everyone who did it.
Are you proud of Paul and Ben for making out with Chowder Mouth?
No. But this scene with them, this like the whole thing as it unfolds, you know, across however many flashbacks we get, there's such subtle things that make these two men, gay men in 1996. Like, it's not over the top, and yet it's exactly spot on. There's just something about Paul, the way his shirt is, the vibe of his like beard, just like the whole thing is so absolutely mid-90s a gay couple in the mid-90s in New York City that I thought was great. You didn't even have to heavy-hand it, and it worked. I also want to say that, and I mentioned this in What's the Buzz, the last episode, but the way that they go in and out of Ben's sort of like hallucinations, memories, whatever we're calling them, is one of my favorite choices on the show. We don't get this for any other character. This is specific to Ben, and it's really cool. And we have like a little bit of this in the credits even, I noticed, when it says Showtime Presents. And I think that's always been like that.
That's sort of like VHS striping.
Yeah, the striping, exactly. And this, we're going to take it beat by beat, but this is a gutting. I mean, especially because, let's remember that Ben and Natalie in season 1 were sort of like shrooming in the woods, and we got this reveal from Ben that like he's gay, and he's never said that to like a lot of people in his life, and he like laid on the floor of the forest just saying like, "Did you hear that, Mom? Forest animals, I'm gay." This is, how old do we think Ben is? Do we know how old Ben is?
I don't think that we do.
He's probably in his 20s, right? Like he's not.
Yeah, I would say like late 20s or early 30s.
Yeah, and he's mostly closeted, and the way that we move through this kills me. But I'll wait to get killed till later, because right now Ben just so happens to know a few relaxation techniques, Jenny. I'm sure he's talking about like watching something on TV.
Yes. Kristin?
Yes.
Terrible news.
Yeah, we're back to the hand?
Terrible news for Ty.
Oh my God.
Ty's like, who did this? Who could have put this is me when the Oreos or the almond butter pretzels are discovered to suddenly be down to their last few bits in the pantry.
I'm not sure that that's a parallel, Jennifer, but
I'm like, who did this? Who's responsible? Who ate all of these snacks? Certainly not I, because I would remember.
Sure. That's actually, you're right. That's how Ty feels. This is fucking horrifying. This is like, I wrote down, let's hear a little bit of what Ty says when she comes out of the front door of the cabin and sees the bones of Jackie lying on the pyre. What the fuck? Natalie, what the fuck is this? What the fuck? What happened? Fuck, what happened to Jackie? Jackie, fuck, what happened?
Ty, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Something ate her. How can we...
Taissa!
We ate her. No, I didn't. I wouldn't.
What are you talking about? You were sitting right next to me.
Now, this is a great illustration of a desecrated corpse rather than a desiccated corpse.
It's a kind of both.
Listen, Kristin.
Jenny.
When you're in love with someone, or even when you're friends with someone, even when you're a good friend or a best friend to someone, and they are clearly spiraling out in a "this is news to me that I did a cannibalism" kind of way, would you offer as supporting evidence to convince them of what they got up to? The quote, "You ate her face."
No. And it's so not Van. I don't understand what happened in this beat of writing, because Van is usually very, like, one of the most measured of the group in terms of like being responsible and making good choices. And this is not the choice you make when somebody is literally completely dissociated from cannibalizing Jackie. You ate her face. Ty pukes, which is such a bummer. Also, it's like, even if Van was being irresponsible emotionally, just don't make her puke more. She needs to keep Jackie in there. Like they need this sustenance. They need this protein.
Ty throws up and then screams. And here's no. You and I diverge in a yellow wood here.
Oh, yeah, you
because-
don't like this scream? Oh, I fucking
Well, here's
love
the thing. The show has now given me a scream going into the credits in 2 out of 3 of the episodes of this season so far, and they both felt a little to me like tell don't show.
Okay.
You know, even though they're just screaming non-words.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like
What was
just
the
feels,
first? Remind me what the first scream
It was Lottie at the top of the stairs getting into the plane.
Right.
And I just feel like if it was one or the other, and maybe this wouldn't be clanging for me, but
it didn't clang for me. So you can choose your
I
fighter.
think, yeah, this does feel way more you than me.
This is just, I would actually pick this one over the Lottie. I mean, I was fine with the Lottie scream.
I would pick this one over the Lottie scream.
Yeah, it
too.
just, ugh. I also just wrote in this scene that, like, we see, like, the fact that it's not just Ty and Van, I feel, is important, especially because these characters, are now adults. That Nat is there, and that we see Nat witness this moment with Ty. Misty comes out and also witnesses it, and I feel like this is an entirely new level of intimacy, for lack of a more specific word to use in this context, between these folks. Like, this is, they've witnessed death, they've witnessed starvation together, but like this kind of horror that they carry together is something brand new, I think, for the crew. So,
I would say they definitely haven't eaten a person together before.
They haven't. Yeah. You know who is completely unfazed? Fucking Mari. Jenny. Mari. Guess no one wants breakfast. Mari's unfazed for the entirety of the episode. She's like, well, whatever. We did what we had. Last season, I posited that I am Mari. And I don't think I'm as big of a bitch as Mari, but I do feel like, given the amount that I've been like, yeah, I would eat ass jerky. Sure, I would eat this part of my good friend or best friend first. That maybe I would be like Mari. But we did what we had to do. I'm making my peace with it. Let's move on.
Natalie is like, I'm going to take what remains of Jackie out to the plane. Store it there. And when the ground thaws, I'm going to bury it. I have a couple questions.
Okay.
One. There's like not a door on the plane?
No.
Right?
There's not.
Yeah. So she's just got these like kind of wrapped up in like a sack. I just feel like she's just leaving them in there. I don't think they're going to be there.
You think like
when
animals
the ground thaws
will take them?
Yeah, if I was an animal, I'd be like in that plane in a second, like chomp chomp.
Yeah. Although based on their fucking hunting history, it doesn't seem like there are many animals even around or out in this dead of winter. They just have to get back before the animals.
Yeah.
I support Nat. And I also looked up, I wanted to know how much weight Nat was going to be carrying, Jenny. So I looked up how much human bones weigh. And the internet told me that human bones usually weigh about 15% of the body weight of a person. So
that's like nothing.
Yeah, Jackie is fucking 100 pounds maybe. So she's got 15 pounds, maybe a little more than that on her back. Not bad. I was worried about her,
Yeah, that's, my son weighs more than that. Like a lot more than that. And I'm toting him around all the day long.
True hell math. The bones of Jackie weigh just as much as Jenny's son.
Yeah, my son weighs like 1.75 Jackie's bones. Okay, so Ben's like, oh, well, at least saltily. Ben is like,
indeed.
At least if you bury her there, it'll look like she died with the rest of them. And I'm just now on my final watch before this putting together, that's like what everybody thinks, probably. Everybody back home thinks that Jackie died when the plane crashed.
Sure. And who knows how many other people they think died when the plane crashed. I mean,
or I guess died of starvation.
We might
maybe?
call this episode Digestif because it's the episode after they eat Jackie, but I personally would imagine that Jackie was an aperitif for future courses of human beings.
Oh dear.
In the woods. I mean, listen, this is a show about eating your friends, I think, amongst other emotional subplots.
Yep. Eating your friends and other delights.
Okay, so we go to the present day, and Lottie is telling Trinity to breathe through her pain. Nat is the most incredible comic relief that has ever existed inside of a television show. The way that she looks in the window at this and just fucking makes all I have, like, I can't even describe what Natalie does when I take my notes. I'm just like, Nat at the window with this face. It's just this fucking face. It's singular. And she's also, Jenny, walking around with a shake. It's like the same cup that fucking Lottie threw away.
You think she dug it out of the trash?
Yeah.
This is a cool song playing that I liked. It's by Pope Coke. It's called When I Go Walking. Cool placement. I like it. Did
you learn anything about this Pope Coke? Because I did a little search because I wanted to know who they were. They're an artistic collective.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, they're led by Jazz Mills and Stephanie Hunt, but I thought there was a link on their website to another song called comes with a full video, Midnight Sidewalk, and I was like, I think I'm into this a lot.
Hey, a collective, that kind of sounds like an intentional community to me, doesn't it?
An intentional community, you're right.
I like Nat getting startled by Lisa just sitting there with a fucking chicken.
Oh my God. Lisa petting this chicken that she's about to behead.
I feel like because Nicole Maines is from Maine, right?
Yeah.
I expected her to look a little more natural holding a chicken, but she definitely looks like she'd rather not be. And I have a question for our poultry specialists in the listenership. Don't people like wring a chicken's neck first? Or do they just go straight chopping? This, I feel like the technique looks off to me. I'm not sure that this is the correct order of events, and I'd just like to know more. But
yeah, and I mean, I would,
but not too much more.
Okay, yeah. Well, don't worry. You have your fucking good friend Kristin Russo to screen emails for you. Before you
I love how my good friend screens my emails.
I would say that if this isn't how you normally kill a chicken, it could also be argued that Lisa is not really doing this for any other reason but to try to intimidate.
Now, that seems particularly... That makes me like Lisa a little bit less.
Oh, what? Natalie almost fucking took her eye out with a fork.
That's a thing between
they'll still
two
eat the chicken.
people.
I just like.
It's just like, what did the chicken do? I know the chicken is headed for the chopping block regardless, but don't do it. Don't do it with like spite in your heart. Do it with a prayer of thanksgiving.
Have you ever killed a chicken?
No, and I never will,
well,
Kristin.
Sometimes people have to kill chickens, Jenny, and maybe they don't want to do it with love in their heart. Maybe they need to detach from that so that they don't have to think about it, you know? I've also not killed a chicken. It sounds like I've killed a chicken and I'm like trying to like make my peace with it. I have also never killed a chicken. Though, you know my theory, I think I've talked about my food eating theory, my meat eating theory, which is like I think if I could kill it, if I had to, then I will eat it. So like I will eat chicken and fish, but I tend not to eat pork and red meat because I don't think that I would be capable of killing a cow or certainly not a pig. Pigs are so smart. Anyway, this chicken dies, R.I.P. Bringing a theme into this episode that is really everywhere, which is fucking blood. Like nearly every character has like their moment with blood of some kind. We get it here with Natalie. We'll get it with Lottie and the bees. There's a cut from this blood to Simone's blood in the hospital dripping through the thing because she's getting a transfusion. There's probably more that I'm not even remembering that we'll get to sequentially, but
Shauna gets a nosebleed.
Oh yeah, Shauna gets a fucking nosebleed. Yes. So it's just a lot of blood everywhere.
Okay, so in the hospital, Ty is pretty out of it. She's hallucinating the doctor. Sammy, Simone.
Yeah.
Some of it's probably real. It's kind of maybe like a collage. A nurse, as Ty sort of like shakes into like real consciousness, nurse is like, such an interesting design you drew on her. What does it mean? First of all, there's a triangle buddy on Simone's palm. Okay. Second of all, I feel like a nurse would simply not do this.
Would not do what specifically?
It's just like the whole thing, the whole ask doesn't feel really in the scope.
Like, why did you put this drawing on your wife?
Yeah, and then after Ty says it's for luck, the nurse leaves kind of looking down but smiling, and that's the part that's like extra weird.
I will say that the nurse also, the first thing she says when Ty's like checking in on Simone is, we're not out of the woods yet, which feels
what?
Like a very specifically chosen. I mean, who knows if this nurse is even there, Jenny? Like, that's a huge part of this is what narrator are we trusting here? Especially with Ty. I mean, not especially with any of them. Honestly, I think I trust Misty's fucking narrative to be reality more than any of the other adults here. Maybe Nat and Misty. But like Lottie, we can't at all trust what we're seeing from Lottie's perspective as actually happening. We can't trust that with Ty. I meant to say in the scene earlier, too, that we hear Lisa. She says that Lottie's like quarters are locked, but she says Charlotte. And so I thought, well, we have like Ty and Shadow Ty, and do we have Charlotte and Lottie? Because there's obviously this like massive line between the face that Charlotte presents as the leader of this intentional community and Lottie, who is thinking that her hands are in a bloody hive by the end of this episode. Also, it should be noted that Lisa tried to intimidate Nat and lost that first battle. Nat won, Lisa 0. Nat is like, you shouldn't swing an axe that close to your hand, kid. You ever been in the woods and eaten your friend? Didn't think so. Out of my way. Ty drew Triangle Buddy on Simone's palm. This episode is also really heavy with Triangle Buddy. We get it with the baby blanket later. Like, there's something about this divide between like Shadow Ty and Charlotte and Lottie. Like, is there a piece of the girls that exists where the Triangle Buddy is a symbol of luck and goodness, and a reality where it's the opposite of that? Because this episode really plays with that. Dark Ty, we saw her see the car that crashed into Simone, so it doesn't seem like she has Simone's best intentions. Did she put the symbol there because she wanted her to die? Did she put it there because she wanted to protect her? Question mark. Did she put it there because she can't fight the Seether? Jenny, upset about this needle drop?
Yeah, I don't like it.
This was one of my favorite moments watching the show, the second season for the first time. Because for the most part, like, I love a very smart, intentional needle drop, of course. But sometimes I just want to fucking rock out to some of my favorite shit from the 90s. Yeah. And so I was just excited to rock out.
Listen, I
educate
simply
us to your opinions.
Love American Thighs by Veruca Salt. I love the whole record. I've listened to it countless times. This just doesn't feel like Misty.
It doesn't feel like Misty. That I agree with.
Like, I feel like something more obtuse should be like, because it's like Misty's like striding down the dock and she's gonna have her interrogation and whatever. I feel like this isn't a song that Misty would listen to feel powerful.
Agree. Oh, I mean, she would listen to something from Phantom of the Opera, clearly. Seether is giving more Natalie, I think, like a Natalie striding, a Shauna I could see.
No,
Seether.
you know who probably loves Seether? Mari.
Nice.
Okay, Walter is on his boat and he's like, ahoy.
His boat is named Great Expectations.
Oh my God.
I jumped at the Misty probably has a minimum of 12 orgasms between the time she arrives to this boat and the time she leaves this boat. I jumped at
really
the chance to work
like...
with the incomparable African Grey. He is saying everything that Misty has fantasized about since she first wore the cat sweatshirt. We'll see later in this episode in middle school.
Yeah. She's stoked and flattered, and it's going great.
They know each other's names, Jenny. So
yeah, they've both done their research.
Yeah.
Misty lays down the law. She's like, this is my witness. I'll ask the questions. But it's Randy, so she can't.
Oh my God, it's Randy. This is like a moment in my watch where I was like, wow, we're really going to keep going with Randy. You know, like I know that Randy obviously like in season 1 like had a bigger role than I thought he was going to have, and I was excited, but like getting Randy to this boat, I was like, oh, we are keeping Randy, and I am so thrilled because adult Randy is one of my favorite characters on the show.
And they work out a little earbud plan in 2 seconds.
Fucking Walter being like, give me your number, and Misty being like, I couldn't possibly.
As if he doesn't already have her number. Yeah. Like as if he didn't already find her number.
Yeah. So she also, before she goes back, she says, I just need to let you know that the play Cyrano is boring and verbose. And I texted Jenny and I was like, I can't find the reason why she says this. Do you know why? And Jenny told me she would find out for me. So what have you got for us, Jenny?
Okay. Have you ever seen the 1988 romantic comedy Roxanne starring
Steve Martin? Yes, I have.
Okay. So that film is loosely based on the play.
I knew this. Yes.
Okay. And you may recall that a big part of the plot involves, guy with Pinocchio-ish, absurdly long nose, surreal, is in love with this conventionally gorgeous woman played by Daryl Hannah, ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds right.
And Daryl Hannah's character is in love with this like sort of like football player looking guy, Beefcake. And Steve Martin's character is like, yeah, she'd never go for a guy like me. And he gets tangled up with the Beefcake, who is into Daryl Hannah, and ends up kind of like feeding poetry and lines to this guy to like court her from the bushes below her window and like write her letters. And the letter writing is a part of the original play as well. Like it's like a guy who's like, she'd never be into me. I'll help this hot guy court her by letting him use my words.
Yep.
So I don't know if I don't have the full picture, but like that's as far as I got with the reference. It's like somebody feeding somebody else lines. And it's kind of romantic, and like Misty has to be like, just so you know, this is not what I'm into.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. A+.
If you know something I don't know, hello@bufferingcast.com.
Randy enters. Misty is hiding in the boat bathroom. God, we'll see her momentarily double tasking, feeding Walter lines while she raids his medicine cabinet to find out what his deal is. I love it so much. But we cut to Shauna and Jeff, who are at a diner. And this is the infamous, it was the strawberry lube conversation.
To me, it's the infamous... the look on the server's face and her abrupt 180 when she hears these words come out of Jeff's
100%. That was exactly where I was going.
I'll check on you later.
She literally gets an audible whoa before she turns around and leaves. So good. But Jeff is having a crisis, you know? I mean, his wife has had an affair. Not to mention the fact that they're both tangled up in a murder, but like he's really like trying to think about why. And this is like a bummer too, because I mean, a bummer, but also relatable, right? Like, what did I do? What was I not giving her that she like needed to go somewhere else for something else? And so he's thinking back and he's like, it was that moment that you wanted to use strawberry lube. And I said it was for goths and bisexuals. Truly one of my favorite moments in the show. And Shauna said that Jeff was no fun. And that's when he says, that's when I decided, that's when I chose to be this version of myself. But I could have been the strawberry lube guy, you know? And Shauna explains that it really has nothing to do with Jeff. It was just that, you know, it was something different, something that wasn't predictable and something that made her feel less like herself inside of her current life, like just took her out of her life. I really love this scene, like apart from all the like strawberry lube and the fucking goths and bisexuals and the waitress spinning around on her heel, because I feel like a lot of times relationships on TV and in movies are dramatized. And so like there's this affair, there's never, and not that, well, listen, maybe there are affairs and you never have a conversation about them and things just shatter and that's the end of it. But I feel like this reality where like you've known somebody for 25 fucking years or longer, you're sitting across a table and you're trying to like unpack the things that have happened, just feels so real to me. The way that Shauna and Jeff are talking to each other, that he's trying to process this, that she's trying to process this, that they're trying to like figure out how to be now that this thing exists inside of their relationship, just feels very real. And I think they did a great job with it.
I think they did a great job too. It does feel very lived in. Mm-hmm. And you can understand how they got here. And you can appreciate, you know, they have the kind of relationship where even after everything that's happened, they can have this conversation.
Totally.
They hop in the minivan. And while driving, Jeff gets inspired by the waitress and bangs a Yui. And it's like, I'm spontaneously taking us to Colonial Williamsburg. Kristin, ever churn butter?
You know, I've not gone to Colonial Williamsburg, but I know that I've gone to someplace like Colonial Williamsburg. I wouldn't say I've churned butter. Like I don't think I was actually responsible for the conversion of cream to butter, but I definitely have yanked one of those butter churns.
Now that doesn't sound like any of my business,
but
it sounds like that's when you made the decision to become this version of yourself.
You asked.
I can't believe, and yet I can absolutely believe that Jeff's idea of like, let me spice things up is let's fuck off to Colonial Williamsburg.
Of all the places.
Though I would actually like to see Jeff do some like blacksmithing. I'd like to see him at an anvil with a blacksmith's apron on and a hammer.
Jeff is becoming,
that would be cool.
I'm going to say Jeff is becoming, and maybe not Colonial Williamsburg, but there are a lot of elements in Jeff in this episode that I'm like, he is becoming more New Jersey by the minute. Like, I feel like Jeff, for like the majority of the series so far, was like a guy. You could put him almost anywhere and you would believe that Jeff was the husband in this relationship. And like by this point, by the end of this episode, I'm like, no, you are a person from New Jersey who has lived their life in New Jersey, Jeff. His music choice, I don't know this song. It's by a band called Sonica Disturbia, but I thought it was really impeccable on the heels of Papa Roach, because I feel like Papa Roach is like 2000 and change. This song is 2005, and I was like, wow, what was Jeff going through, 7 years after the Yellowjackets came back? Like, show me the 2005 version of Jeff listening to all this music. Also, randomly, and I thought that this was also kind of fun, this band, Sonica Disturbia, had like not done anything, but then this song got placed in Yellowjackets. So everyone was looking for the song. And so the guy at the head of this band was like, oh, let me dig out the old files and put them up. So their like website is up and like the album is back and available. And it literally says like, due to the success of the song because of Yellowjackets, I'm making this stuff available again. So,
Wow. Great.
A lot happening.
Alas, what's not happening is their would-be vacation because they are carjacked in a move that any of us at home could have seen coming. While Jeff instructs this man where he can find the car keys, Shauna bum rushes him, knocks him down, and steals the gun. And while she's doing that, Jeff is completely forgets that he's getting carjacked. He's entirely focused on Shauna having a gun and is like, what the fuck?
Are you Rambo? And he does not say it in an impressed tone. He's like,
yeah, are you Rambo? Derogatory.
Yeah. Like, who is my wife? He has never asked himself that question truly, I think, until right now. Who am I married to? What is she capable of? The guy, because Jeff goes for the gun from Shauna, the guy's like, I'm out of here. My main question is, do you take a rusty minivan over your what looks like a pretty nice gun? Like, he just leaves his fucking gun behind. That seems like...
Oh, yeah. How much do guns cost?
I don't have access to that information. But it just seems like the gun... Like take the gun, leave the minivan is the choice here.
Wow.
You know?
According to Google, the average cost of a handgun is between $400 and $1,500.
Damn. Jenny, I think you should probably stop this search. I don't think, like, you're so worried about somebody coming to your door and accusing you of committing a crime that you didn't commit.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say that, like, having how much does a handgun cost in your recent search history is going to be
It's not like I was like, how much does heroin cost? You know what I mean? Guns are, you can buy them.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying you should ask for your lawyer immediately.
Kristin, I will only be asking for my lawyer because after our last episode, I was advised by two people in the Discord who I assume are both lawyers that I should never speak to law enforcement without my lawyer present, quote, whether or not I did the crime.
They're on your side, guilty or not, Jenny.
Yeah,
they just
I appreciate
want to make
that.
sure you're okay.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It just seems like a good rule of thumb because, like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. We got an email because some of you are listening to season 1, you know, for the first time. You've just found us. And so I got an email from one of our listeners who actually I do think is one of the same folks who gave you legal advice in that thread. But this was a proper email from Rachel. And Rachel says, hello, in my best Jenny impression, which I didn't do a Jenny impression. I love this. I finally got around to watching Yellowjackets and listening to Doomcoming. And in the episode Doomcoming, the titular Doomcoming, Jenny was asking about tanning leather for the masks. Something I actually know the answer to. Jenny, get a load of this. You can tan leather with urine and thyme. And it's actually where the
Time,
phrase...
T-I-M-E or time the herb?
Not the herb. The passage of...
Urine and thyme. Okay. It's like comedy equals tragedy plus time. Leather equals urine plus time. Skin plus urine plus time.
So this is actually where the phrase "not having a pot to piss in" came from.
Shocking stuff.
To Rachel, there were people who had enough money to collect. They basically had enough money to have a pot to piss in, to collect their urine and sell it to leather tanners. But people who did not have enough money to even get the pot didn't have a pot to piss in. And Rachel says, I'm sure somebody already told you this since it was recorded forever ago. Never assume that, dear listener. No one told us that I could make leather by peeing on the skin of a cow. Sorry. Or a bear. Or what else have they killed? A deer. Probably a deer.
This is great information to have, and I hope to never have to do anything with it.
But you know what? We have it if we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly. Anyway, Shauna takes the gun. The minivan is gone. And
Shauna is so mad.
She's trying, but she's like, the amount, Melanie Linsky, I know, I say it every episode, she just is a fucking genius. Like, she can hold so many things at once as an actor. Like, she gives us Shauna being so mad at Jeff at the same time as she's giving us Shauna trying to justify that she's still Jeff's wife, Shauna. Why would you have done this? Like, I can't understand our rusty fucking minivan. She's like, it had my purse in it, and it had quarters. Quarters were in the van. Cross trainers.
Cross trainers. Mr. Schwoozums, of course.
Don't forget about Mr.
I have a question.
Schwoozums.
Why was Callie's toy from when she was 6 in the minivan?
You know, that feels like a question that you're asking now with a 2-year-old, and that in like 18 years you're going to have an answer to, you know, just like it was there and it stayed there, I feel like is probably the answer. Okay. So have Lottie and Nat had a relationship that was sexual? I'm not sure, but in the next scene, Lottie is standing so close to Natalie's ear while she looks at the things on the board, and it gave me a question of sorts, which is, did they ever smooch? Got a lot of months left in those woods. Give me Lottie and Nat having an affair instead of being triangulated with Travis. I would love to see it.
Lottie's trying to get Nat to sign up for something, and my first question is, why is Natalie still here? I know that in theory she's like, I'm gonna stop your bullshit, but it just seems like the Nat that we have come to know would do that from a place where she couldn't be pressured into signing up for group activities.
I agree. And like, there not being a train or whatever until whenever has run its course, and she is still there.
The walk that Juliette Lewis does following Simone Kessel, just 1,000% shoulders. She's only shoulders.
I wrote, she somehow hits every square inch of the floor in the width of 2 feet side to side while she walks a straight line. Like, it's you couldn't do it if you tried. Lottie takes her to the bees.
The apiary, if you will.
Beads? That's an Arrested Development joke. Our original beehive, they're in like a weird circle formation with like one hive at the center and then hives sort of circling that hive. We opened with this sound clip, which is Lottie explaining to Nat that the other bees vibrate around the queen to keep her warm in the winter. And when a new queen hatches, the first thing she does is sting all the other unborn queens to death. She says it's not brutal. It's natural. It's simply what has to be done. Otherwise, they starve. The bees. We all do. We need bees to eat, in case you didn't know that. Don't fuck around with bees, guys.
Right. She says we all do, and I guess we're supposed to take that in a pollination kind of way, but it also just feels like it feels a little bit like we have to do what has to be done, otherwise we all starve.
Yeah, and we're seeing, I mean, like the beauty of the Lottie arc is that we're seeing the beginning. I mean, I guess it's true for all of them, but with Lottie, it feels so resonant that like we're seeing the beginning of this in this episode, even the birds that will fall out of the sky and the way that there are certain people that just go in the cabin. And then there's another group of people that are like laying these birds at Lottie's feet. And where she is now, where she's like, this is natural and this is just what has to be done. And how do you get from that place where people are starting to like follow you? I mean, that's what's happening in the woods. People are starting to follow Lottie. And how do you not wind up perverting that or corrupting that or whatever, where you're using it for your own gain and you've lost sight of the larger.
And you're like, this isn't the smoothie I ordered.
Yeah. How do you go from having a bird laid at your foot by a young follower and not end up throwing your entire glass jar with a metal straw smoothie into the trash? That's the question.
Back in 1996, Nat's getting ready for her little jaunt. Lottie's like, want some blood tea for the road. Nat's like, no thanks. Travis is like, want me to come with you? Nat's like, no thanks. Shauna, so emotional watching Jackie's nod remains leave camp.
It's very sad.
I know. Lottie's like, buck up, Shauna. Jackie would have wanted you to eat her.
This, Lottie and Shauna have their own connection, and I mean, Shauna confesses, is very open with Lottie in this moment. She says she's really scared. And Lottie is very comforting and is like, you're not going to hurt the baby. You're going to be a great mom. This is going to be a beautiful thing. Also, just it's not something you did. We all did this thing together. We are all in this together. Everything that Lottie is offering to Shauna is pretty legit. And then it winds up inspiring a baby shower, and everyone is so excited about it.
And nobody is as excited as fucking Mari. Mari is like, this is the event of the century.
This is one place where Mari and I diverge. I'm not a huge fan of baby showers, generally speaking, but I will say that in the woods, the last event was a prom, and you probably just will take anything you can get. Some people are just generally excited about a baby shower. Some people are probably just excited because it's something to do. Something to focus on, something that's not just the same thing you're doing every day, which is waking up in the fucking woods wondering how the fuck you got here,
Yeah. This made me really stress out thinking about, what are they going to do about diapers? What are they going to do about diapers?
They're just going to let that baby pee anywhere it needs to. Put it in a little bassinet. You just put a Playboy underneath the baby.
You're going to run out of Playboys.
I know,
Kristin,
so fast.
Take it from me. Take it from me.
Yeah, they should have kept that coat. They should have kept that coat from Jackie for many reasons.
Oh my God.
We need they'll probably, by the time the baby's around, they'll have figured out how to sew and stuff, right? I mean, come on.
We can hope.
They know how to tan leather, so
but they don't know how to make diaper cream.
Listen,
all right.
Babies didn't have diaper cream all the time,
Yeah, and life used to be worse than it is.
It should not go unspoken that Lottie also said to Shauna to welcome him.
Him?
Yeah, that's what Shauna said, actually.
Shauna and I have a lot in common.
So, Lottie, I mean, I think that, what's interesting is that, I think that when people lead intentional communities, it's all or nothing, right? It's oh, you're either insane and you don't actually have anything to do with this intentional community you're leading, you should never have done it, blah blah blah, or it's yes, you're the savior, but there's very rarely a middle space. And it's with Lottie, it does seem like there is a middle space, right? Maybe Lottie shouldn't be leading this intentional community of of purple fucks, if I can use Nat's words, but also Lottie clearly does have some kind of cognition, some kind of something that connects her to the world around her in ways that the rest of this crew do not. So
back on the SS putting the sick in forensics, it's time for Randy's interview. I love that Walter asks, are you covering for a friend? And Randy's completely just no thought. It's just you mean Jeff?
Right. For those who have forgotten, Randy knows everything that has happened with Shauna and Adam and Jeff and all of it. And
well, he doesn't know that Shauna did a murder.
That's true. Sorry. He knows about... Wait, what does Randy know?
He knows about Jeff's
blackmailing
plot.
Right. So he doesn't even... I'm sorry. I take it all back. He doesn't know about Adam. He knows about I forgot that Jeff even blackmailed. Remember when the glitter got everywhere? I forgot.
Remember when there was no book club?
Yeah, he gives Jeff up in 2 seconds, but of course, fucking Walter and Misty don't know anything about that. So
Yeah.
like ships in the night, you know, they miss each other. He says, "What do you know about Natalie Scartorchio?" And Randy says she was probably in her room doing drugs. To which Misty loses her ever-living mind and is like, "Hit him!"
Dude. Misty. Walter can't handle this order. He needs to have a quick face-to-face, so he feigns IBS and runs into the boat bathroom.
An Emmy for Christina Ricci's scream whisper of, "What are you doing? Get back in there and hit him." So good. She explains that Randy once made Joe Fazio eat a frog during recess, and the only way to get information out of him is by being the bad cop. Go out there and hit him.
Yeah. Walter's like, if things go south, my attorney knows what to do, and then comes out slapping and then punching. Oh my God.
Randy, dude, what the fuck? It's really good. It's really, scenes like this, I feel like could go too far. Like it's right on the edge, and it's like this perfect, like Abbott and Costa. It's not, but it like has that rhythm of just like insanity of miscommunication, even in the beat of like of Misty saying "hit him" and Walter saying "what" and Randy saying "what." Like it's just really done very well. Okay, in 96 we are prepping for a baby shower, and Akilah and Ty are working together making a cradle. I remember watching this for the first time and loving this beat because we so rarely get we don't get a lot of like deeper beats with Akilah, generally speaking, and I thought it was really nice to see this moment between her and Ty where she's talking about her nephew, and he had just been born when the plane went down, and he's probably so much bigger now. And she says, "I guess I'd kind of do anything to see him again," and Ty like puts her hand on Akilah's back, and I just felt like, A, this was really beautiful, B, this felt like, and I don't know that this is why it was here, but it felt like Akilah's own justification for herself for like eating Jackie, of like, there are so many things that like I want to get home to, and I guess I would just do anything to get back there. And like that is something you have to live to be able to contemplate getting back.
Yeah. Mari's making a very child unsafe mobile. This mobile is not going in my nursery.
Yeah. She's making a mobile. Is that how you say it? I say I don't say it actually. For Buffy the Vampire Slayer is how I felt.
Yeah. She's also hearing dripping that nobody else is hearing. The dripping of the telltale finky bones.
Right. That's the only dripping I remember.
The floorboards of the plane now. Drip, 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 drip.
Gross. Misty and Crystal and Misty. Oh my God.
If you had to guess what Misty ate a whole tray of, you probably would have guessed deviled eggs, right?
100%.
Yeah.
it's
Deviled
a
eggs.
Pipeline.
She says eggs.
It's a direct pipeline from eating a tray of deviled eggs to drinking Hawaiian punch and loving coconut LaCroix. That's just the truth.
Crystal's like, too bad they didn't listen to your broth idea. It's like, it's not really a party without snacks, girl.
They should have though. Like, they should have.
This is
they
the
should
thing.
not. They should have made bone broth.
Like, you already ate her. You already ate her, and you guys are gonna die.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking die. It's not like, should we kill another person on purpose to eat them, or should we just make something that will nourish us and help us survive longer out of, no offense, the remains of someone, R.I.P., miss you, Jackie, love you forever, who is already gone.
So like Jackie was this like perfect situation because she froze to death. So
she froze to death and then she accidentally was perfectly smoked.
Right. But like there are other dead people on the plane, whatever. And so my question is like, obviously you can't use that meat, like that is bad meat. But their bones, if you boil their bones,
I got a bad feeling about the shelf life of marrow. Although if you know something we don't, hello at bufferedcast.com.
I think I've been like trained that like if you boil anything long enough, like you just the poison will go away. But
should I Google how long after death can I boil my friend's bones for broth?
Yes. Should I take the bullet out first?
Mm-hmm.
So Misty and Crystal are fucking soulmates. I mean, they're like, Misty is like, yeah, we should have. It would have been good. And then she like panics and she's like, I mean, not like good, but like not like deviled eggs good, because she's worried that Crystal's gonna think like, you freak, you like are saying that the bone broth made of the bones of your friend would taste good, and gets and fucking earful of the opposite, where Crystal is like, no, it would be fucking delicious. Like, it wasn't terrible, right? Like, they're just like, you know what? Like, that was kind of good. And Crystal admits that it was not the first time that she ate a person, because she absorbed her identical twin in the womb. I'm not sure that counts, Crystal, but also I appreciate you offering this fact to us.
It is the sort of thing that someone of a certain age might be like might find out about themselves and be like, sick. This is my talking point at parties.
It's also what I can attribute my acting talent to. She channels her twin she absorbed when she's on stage. Crystal has an idea for Misty's gift, which of course is going to be this fucking Steel Magnolias monologue that we're going to get in a little while. God bless us all. Ben comes home and sees I don't remember what this girl's name is. Jen.
That's Jen.
Sees Jen on the floor and
foaming and swiping.
Hallucinates that she's like, hungry. I still am. She's like foaming at the mouth, just gonna eat Ben raw, like not even cook him. And we get more static. This is like Ben's escape from reality. He's going back into his past. And Paul is mad, actually, in this flashback.
Yeah, Paul's like, you know what would help me chillax? If you would move in like you said you would months ago.
Yeah.
Ben is tap dancing.
I just feel like there could be better tap dancing done here. Like, it seems to me like you're in the middle of a school year. You've got shit going on. You said you were going to move after the holidays, but like also that is in the middle of the school year. So I know that's not the point. The point is that Ben is closeted and doesn't ever want to move in because he has to change everything about his life. But if I were Ben, I'd be like, just get me till the end of the school year. And then then I'll just like, quit my job and come here. Just preserve it for a little longer. Anyway, this line from Paul, you always say that those girls are vicious little monsters. Incredible.
And, he may not be saying it out loud right now, but he's definitely thinking it.
Yeah.
Paul's like, you know what? I don't get to decide that you have to change everything about your life, but I do get to decide that I deserve to be with someone who will be with me.
Yeah.
And he says, I love you, Ben, but I think you need to leave.
Then it cuts back to Ben in bed. It's really fucking brilliantly done.
Legends. Long have legends inspired people the world over. For in legends, we see the worlds of the impossible unfold before us.
Heroic quests, horrific monsters, gods, magic, tales of the valiant and the villainous. But more than that, in legend, we see ourselves reflected in the stories we tell.
I'm William Stark.
And I'm Omar Timsaw.
And we are D&D Legends and Lore. Join us as we explore the fantastic lore of the world's most popular tabletop RPG.
You can find D&D Legends and Lore on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts can be found.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural then and now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude. Stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Okay. Let's go to the plane where Nat is, and let's...
You thought we got Jackie's eulogy already.
No, this is Jackie's real eulogy. And I was thinking about it because, you know, for those of you who've been watching some of the like teaser, everyone's getting real annoyed on the internet. Not everyone, but, you know, the people on the internet that get annoyed about shit are getting annoyed because Yellowjackets and like Paramount Plus are throwing up teasers. And just, I did the same thing when I saw it. I saw a teaser this morning, and I was like, "Oh my god, is this it? Is it time? Are they going to announce when season 3 is happening?" And it's just like seasons 1 and 2 now available on Paramount Plus, and everyone's like, "We know, we don't care, we want season 3." Anyway, they used this clip, you know, of Nat, and so I feel like it's not only important to us, but important to the larger viewership.
You're lucky. You know, I think shit is gonna get a lot worse out here. You're already dead, so way to make everyone jealous of you one last time. I'm sorry for what we did. Who knows? Meeting you could be the reason why we survived the winter, so... Thanks. Rest in peace, Jackie.
Well done. So well done.
So well done that it summoned an albino moose, actually. You know that albino moose are for real? I Googled it, and they are real. They're incredibly rare, like 1 in 20,000.
1 in 20,000?
1 in 20,000. They're very, very rare. And, you know... This is a moment for me when I was like, is this the polar bear on the island? You know, like, what are we seeing here? Is this for real? Because Natalie sees this moose. This moose sees fucking Natalie. She shoots at it, and it does not run away. It charges at the fucking plane. And I, like, rewound, like, 8 times. Like, are the things in the plane really, like, jostled? Did that really happen? Again, how can we know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But man, imagine she fucking killed that moose. They would have been fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a big moose.
And I'd be like, oh no, we just ate Jackie. Now there's all this moose meat.
I tried to find information about, and by tried, I don't mean I tried very hard, but I did look to see if there was some information about this moose. like shooting the scenes or whatever. And there was an article with young Nat being interviewed, but it was on Vulture and it was blocked to me because I was not a subscriber and I didn't pay, and so now we can't know.
What?
That's my whole story.
Just fucking coming in here to tempt us with things that we can't have.
Somebody probably has a subscription. They can send me the if you want me to disseminate white moose information, just get me the goods. Okay.
Back on the boat. Randy is stressing.
Dude, I'm answering your questions. There's no need for violence.
The pitch. It's up. Oh, so good.
What is this thing that Walter is threatening him with? Is that a tiny circular saw?
Yeah.
Is that a milk frother?
It looks like a tiny circular saw or a very like a nose hair clipper for a giant. That's what I imagine it to be.
Okay. Whatever this thing is, it helps jog Randy's memory. He remembers people wearing all purple who he told were dicks. He told them they were dicks for drinking all the Fanta.
The other day, I just like walked into the house and there was a can of Fanta on the counter.
Oh
and I
my
was like,
God.
My
the Fanta
wife
of the opera.
My wife is full of incredible surprises all the time.
Who is she?
All right. So they send fucking Randy off the boat, and but Walter's like, don't leave town. We might have more questions for you. Misty comes out. They share a very meaningful look. And then we go back to the cabin. This is the night before the baby shower. Fucking Crystal and Misty. You know, you everybody who listens to this podcast thinks that we make everybody gay. But here's two girls that are just absolutely not gay whatsoever. They are simply having a best friendship. They're under a tent. They've got a little light under there. They're talking about their feelings. Crystal is about to get very real, very fast. She explains to Misty that Misty keeps failing to find what's true about the character. Misty says, what if I never find what's true? And Crystal says, then, as my acting coach always says, you found the biggest truth of all. We're made of lies.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Great.
Up in the attic. As usual, Van and Taissa are tied together for bedtime. Ty wakes up.
It's actually
Van is
how
like,
lesbians have sex.
None of my business. Ty wakes up and Van
Nothing
is like,
else. Just that. A rope around each wrist. That's sex.
Kristin.
What?
Focus. Van asks, if I untie you, can I come with you? And Taissa's like, yes.
Come.
So they're on the move. Van's like, how do you know where you're going?
Oh, God, I hate this so much.
Ty says, he shows me. Van's like, who's he? Ty's like, the one with no eyes. Van's like, is that who you always follow? Taissa's like, only when she lets me. Van's like, who's she? And Ty is like, Taissa.
And then Van says, then who are you? I'll tell you what, I might have followed Van's line of questioning, but not the last one. Only when she lets me, Taissa, I would have shut the fuck up. That is, I do not have any further questions. Thank you so much for participating.
None of my business. Turns out they walk straight to a triangle buddy tree.
Yeah.
And Taissa comes back to herself and Van's like, who's the one with no eyes? And Taissa says she doesn't know. Liar.
Because we see her see the man with no eyes in her grandma's room. We get a little flash of it, and she doesn't tell anybody. I hate it. I can't decide if the bigger horror movie is who is she, Taissa, or I didn't bring any makeup with me, then what's that? But which is scarier, you know? Let me know your opinions.
I think it's still, then what's that?
Then what's that? Oh my God. Okay. Let's get so fucking New Jersey that you can't even fucking handle it. We're going to go to the gym with Jeff and Kevin. Kevin looks like a goddamn asshole. What has happened to this man? This beautiful, adorable man.
He was a nice, sweet, hot, adorable man has been transformed. Let's rank their gym looks, shall we? We've got Jeff in lifting gloves and a relaxed fit sleeveless gray hoodie.
I love a sleeveless hoodie. I'm a sucker for a sleeveless hoodie.
And then we've got Kevin in a tight blue t-shirt and a black backwards baseball cap with his bangs kind of sticking down out underneath.
That's the thing that puts it over the edge. You know,
Yeah,
if the
yeah.
baseball hat was backwards, it's a bad fit. The hat is a bad fit, generally speaking. It's like a little too big. He looks like a child at Disney World. but the bangs sort of like stuck to his forehead outside of the back of the hat. This is insane.
Okay, so Jeff wins.
Jeff wins for me, yeah. Big time.
There's some huffing and puffing to be done here.
Yeah. Jeff is like, you upset my wife. Kevin's like, Shauna was upset. Jeff's like, no, no.
Oh my God.
Fuck your diligence is a line.
Fuck your diligence is really good.
That Jeff says. So my parents are both from Long Island and lived there their whole lives. We moved upstate when I was in middle school. And they had accents, but they weren't like incredibly strong. But when they got angry, the accent would like quadruple in strength. And so this really resonated with me because everything that Jeff says, the more escalated he gets, the more Jersey he gets. If this is the best you have, I feel bad for this poor son of a bitch. He's fucked. I'm like, oh my God, he's on The Sopranos. He's escalated to the Sopranos level of New Jersey in this scene. Incredible. I love it.
Yeah. What are the odds they go to the same gym?
Probably pretty high. They live in the same town. They went to the same high school.
Okay. Shauna gets dropped off by an Uber in the middle of fucking nowhere. The driver's like, are you sure? She's like, She's tracking something in her purse? She has like a little tracking tile or something in
Something
her purse?
like that. Yeah. Something's telling her. Or like, I don't know, if you connect your car to Bluetooth, your phone will often know where your car is. But this minivan is like literally rusted through. So I'm not sure it has that capacity. So we'll go with a tile.
One question I have here is, did they not report the minivan was stolen? They were just like, oh, well.
I don't think they're going to report anything, Jenny, at this point. They're burning things on the grill. They are not contacting the police of their own accord. They're trying to stay as far away from the police as possible.
When she strolls into the office of this auto shop, she overhears a man who's on the phone telling someone, I love sleeping over, but your cat is disgusting.
I really hope that that's in the rankings for most New Jersey thing because it's pretty New Jersey, the way he says it.
What do we think is disgusting about the cat?
I think when the cat shits, it drags its butt around the house.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I think. And like, remember when you slept over and my cat Trey got mad at you and he shit inside of your pants?
Which I was not wearing at the time. I guess it would be good to mention.
Yeah, they were on the floor. Maybe something like that.
Okay.
Do you have any other theories on the gross cat?
No. I think you probably nailed it. Shauna pulls a gun on this guy, and he immediately challenges her ability to use it.
Oh, he wishes he never did, Jenny.
Because
this is cute and all, but I don't have time.
Have you ever peeled the skin off a human corpse? It's not as easy as you might think. It's really stuck on us skin. You have to roll back just the edges of it so you can get a good enough grip to really pull. Which again, isn't easy. People are always so sweaty when you kill them. Just like oily. There's a look people get when they realize they're going to die. hand wasn't shaking because I was afraid. It was shaking because of how badly I wanted to do this.
And he's like, please take the minivan. Please.
Please take the minivan. Please.
But he also can't help himself from saying it's rusted to shit anyway.
The look of fear on this man's face is so completely genuine. He believes her the minute she gets into this monologue. He is like, yep, nope, yep, she's going to kill me. Melanie Lynskey, and maybe this interview exists, but I would really love to hear her talk about filming this scene, because this is next level getting into character. She is... I mean, to have to like put yourself in a position where like what you're conveying is that you need to kill someone so bad. That is an emotional lift, and she does it. I mean, after she finishes this monologue, like he says, take the minivan, and the way she stands there and has to tell herself you can see her in her mind being like, put the gun down. Don't pull the trigger. Like, she almost can't take the car. She almost has to just fucking kill this guy anyway, because she's like ramped up to level 100. And I just have in my notes, Melanie in all caps, period. Lynskey in all caps, period. Thank you, she says. And she leaves. Fuck. All right.
Okay.
We've got like back-to-back sound clips here, but I feel like they're both really crucial. I don't know if you've ever heard of Joanna Robinson and Mallory Rubin, but I was listening to them podcast recently and about Agatha All Along. And Mallory was saying like, you know that something's good when you write down like every line of dialogue, which I think is very relatable content for us, Jenny, because like sometimes I'm just taking notes on the episode. I'm like, boop, 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 boop. And then sometimes I'm like, I've started pull up the scripts to copy and paste them, and I'm just like, I have the whole script by the end. I should have just used the script. This is one of those episodes. Ben is in a flashback again, and this is to Jenny's earlier point, this is the flashback that now is a fantasy. Oh God. And he says that he shows up at Paul's the day that they're supposed to go to nationals, and he's like, I couldn't do it. I quit. I couldn't do it. I could not. Like, I sat in the parking lot and I just couldn't. And so I came here. And let's hear the rest of this.
And I kept thinking, if I got on that plane, I was committing to the saddest possible version of me. Okay? A fucking closeted high school soccer coach who ignores everything that he wants because he thinks it'll... I don't know. Keep him safe.
Yeah, there are worse things than being safe.
No, but see, that's the thing. There is no safe. So, I'm gonna live how I want to. How I know I'm meant to. And I'm gonna be the person that I know I am. Fuck everyone else.
And then they lived happily ever after.
Oh, God.
Because on the TV, the news reporter starts talking about the plane crash that this version of Ben, wasn't on.
There's just so much. Come out. Be who you are. Save your life. Like, that's true without a plane crash. It's just... To hear Ben say, I was committing to the saddest possible version of me. And that is the choice that he ultimately made. And then we cut to him in the cabin and he's just sitting there starving. And there's like a single tear rolling down his fucking face as he imagines this fantasy where he made this choice. It is heartbreaking.
Ben.
Ugh. Ben, I want this for you, Ben, so bad.
Happier times, no? More celebratory times, yes?
Yeah, let's have a baby shower. Nothing can go wrong there.
At Triangle Buddy's baby shower, Van has made a changing TP.
Bless her. I saw it at another party. She's like, I gotta go.
And then Misty performs her Steel Magnolias monologue about a mother who outlived her daughter. Oh,
spoilers for Steel Magnolias.
God. Oh dear.
Yeah, but this is an unexpected twist because it starts where you think it's going to start. Crystal's on the floor with her fucking arms up in an L to be like the edges of the TV screen. No. Incredible choice.
Oh, God.
And Mari is giggling her bitch ass right out of the television set. And everybody's like, oh my God. Like, Ty's like, she picked a monologue about fucking dead daughter. And that's like, what the fuck do you think she'd pick? Like, everyone's like, dear God, it's Misty Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of her performance, everyone in the room is like completely wrapped with the sadness. I mean, this is it's a devastating monologue that she's doing. It's Sally Fields, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all moved. And I feel like, to the point of like being excited to throw a baby shower because it's something to do. Like I was thinking about how Nat last episode or maybe the one before was like, I'm really enjoying this like Stone Age TV right now, sitting like looking at the fire. Like there is no like, this art, the existence of art of any kind, like in their presence is despite themselves moving and taking them somewhere else that is not this reality. So
I'm sure they'd all also like to hit something.
And they would all definitely.
And they applaud, and the look on Misty's face says, I am once again so glad I destroyed the plane's tracking device.
Yeah, she's really validated in her choices to destroy that fucking black box.
Yeah. Oh, God. Mid-monologue, Travis like kind of creeps over to Ben's room and is like, Coach, it's weird out here. But then he's like, oh, it's also weird in here.
Travis has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Ty needs to stay the fuck away from mirrors. We are back in the present day. She is, I assume, she's in the hospital bathroom. She takes some of her pills and she turns around to put her back to the mirror, but her reflection, it stays right where it is looking at her.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. Her reflection mouths go to her. Taissa can't tell what it's saying. And then the reflection makes a Doom-coming mask with her hands.
Mm-hmm. This clip was in the trailer for season 2, like way before we got season 2. And I was losing my mind. I was like, that's the mask that Van wore. That's the mask that Van wore. Truly just having a heart attack. Ty rushes out. Her assistant?
Her campaign manager.
Who she treats like her assistant, really, is there. And she's like, hey, good news. You were cleared for... And Ty's like, shut the fuck up. Give me your keys. Bye.
Yeah, and with her other hand, keys in one hand, a phone calling Jessica Roberts in the other.
It's like she has 3 hands because I feel like there was another hand that had a bottle of pills in it. Like, I don't even know how she has all those things in her hands. Okay, back to the boat.
They figure out, first they're bummed because they think, oh, that was pointless. But then after the mention of Tahitian treat,
let it not go underlined that Misty Quigley is at home drinking her fucking Hawaii 5-0 themed Hawaiian punch, and Walter is on his boat with Mountain Dew and Tahitian treat as his drink offerings. These two are made for each other.
At the mention of that Tahitian treat, Misty realizes the purple people might have used their credit card in the soda machine.
Do you think that by the end of all of this, we'll get a fun joke about purple people eaters? This is a show about cannibalism, and now there
could
are
go that way. Could go that way.
Purple people. All right. So Van earlier saying you ate her face to Taissa seemed a little bit out of character to me for Van. I didn't think she would make that choice. This is a similar feeling that I'm getting for what's about to happen with Misty. Walter is like, oh, since we're being honest with each other, why are you downvoting all of my Adam Martin posts?
Oh, but this is Misty pulling out the acting chops that she first began honing a couple scenes ago.
Listen, if she has done the research to make sure that Adam
Does Adam have a mother? Is she alive?
Right. Does Adam have a mom? Was Adam at all a drug user? Because like it appears that she crafts this story on the fucking spot. Prove me wrong. Fine. But it just is a lot of detail to give to somebody who you know is matching you with skill in terms of investigative investigating. Is that what they call it? So I just didn't like that she gave it all up this quickly.
Yeah, she could have been a little more vague.
Right. Like I have a personal connection to a family member. Like just leave it.
Yeah.
You know.
Then we find out that, hey, that wasn't Walter's mom.
It was actually Tony Soprano's mom. He couldn't take it anymore.
No, it was just someone he knows who was getting evicted. So he was like, well, I have the money. So
two birds.
He has the money.
Yeah, so he figured it was his in to get a full tour of the retirement, or not retirement, whatever this is. And that was his pass to get into Misty. Why would you do all of that just to meet me? Misty says. Walter, maybe I'm just a bored Moriarty looking for his Sherlock. Misty has had 11 orgasms. She has her 12th.
Worth mentioning that Moriarty and Sherlock were not friends. They were enemies.
Foil and arch nemesis, says this Reddit thread that I was looking at.
Yeah.
Two detectives matching wits and outsmarting one another. So, I mean, Walter is brand new. We don't know fucking Walter. We don't know what his motives are. We don't know what he really wants.
Yeah, just because he has muscular calves doesn't mean...
Don't judge a Moriarty by his calves, as they say.
They always say that.
Okay. Present day, Shauna tucks Mr. Schwoozums next to Callie. Jeff comes home and he says, how the heck did the van get back? And Shauna looks at the floor and
Shauna puts her finger to his lips and says, shh. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
This relationship is having a difficult time. This is a difficult time for this relationship. And a relationship that has known many difficult times, but this may be the biggest one. We'll see. Misty gets a little sexed. Cherry Corners, New York is where that credit card was linked to. Fancy a road trip, Agent Gray. I already said this, but just in case anyone has not made this connection, Misty is wearing the green sweatshirt with the cat on it that she was wearing in middle school when we saw the other girls from her class call and ask her if she liked anal. Remember that scene? She's had this cat sweatshirt the whole time. And bless her for it, because if I could get my hands on this cat sweatshirt, God damn it, I would wear it every day.
Back at Camp Triangle Buddy, Lottie's overseeing, a group sesh. And she's like, I need a volunteer. Probably Natalie. Natalie, would you like to?
Natalie is basically the fucking bent neck lady somehow, in this scene. The way that her body is always sitting doesn't make any sense. She's sitting on the floor. She has a purple sweater now, but it's draped and not like you would imagine to drape a sweater. It's draped backwards and too far over her shoulders.
Yeah.
She stands up And Lottie's like, close your eyes. Think of something you want to process. And Nat like squeezes her eyes shut for like 1 millisecond. Is like, no, fuck no, fuck no, 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 fuck no.
So the gears shift and Lisa stands up and Lottie's like, how did it make you feel when Natalie hurt you? And Lottie says, explore and honor your anger. Hands her a fork and is like, use it if you want.
At which point Nat now is in. Like, Nat was like, fuck your close your eyes and process bullshit. The minute that Lisa gets a fork and is told she can fuck Nat up with it, Nat's like, oh, you know what? I could process emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I didn't know it was like this.
But Lisa, as she holds the fork, comes to a place of understanding. She drops the fork. She hugs Natalie, who's, I think, disappointed that she didn't get her eye stabbed out with a fork and instead is in the embrace of Lisa. But she says that she understands and she forgives her.
All right.
Oh, God. The baby shower is almost over. Just one more gift to go. Lottie gives Shauna a baby blanket and Nat, again, like this is why like keeping the scenes in order felt like very important, is there was so much that connected from past to present in this episode. Lottie gives Shauna this baby blanket. Nat is like, why the fuck would you give her a fucking blanket with that symbol on it? And like in present day, I feel like it's really easy to be like, Lottie, what the fuck are you doing? And like Nat, as insane as she is in a lot of ways, is like very valid in her like rolling her eyes. But in 96, there's like really truth to both sides. Lottie's like, listen, we don't know what this symbol is for, and I think it was used for protection. And that's like, the guy was dead. It was skeleton buddy. He was dead. Like it didn't protect him. And Lottie says, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it's evil, which that's like a really important fucking sentiment and like very powerful and very true.
Yeah.
So, you know, she believes that she's protecting this baby by putting Triangle Buddy on it. Nat thinks she's insane. At least Nat's always consistent.
In the middle of this argument, Shauna gets a nosebleed. Some of this nose blood falls conspicuously onto the Triangle Buddy symbol.
His
on the
favorite
blanket.
food.
And then his favorite food. And then a further interruption. There comes a thunk, thunk, thunking. A large number of birds that I think are starlings
That seems right to me, even though I have no idea.
fall to their death on and around the cabin. And here are the two ends of the cabin spectrum. Natalie says, don't touch them. They might be diseased. And Lottie says, we should gather its blessings. So
Can't stop what's coming. Can't stop what is on. 2 Tory needle drops inside of the last 3 episodes. This is the first episode.
Yeah. And this is great.
Yeah.
Great.
Beautiful fade over to like as the song continues to play and we go to the bees, which I don't know if we're ready to go there yet. I have a thing.
Well, I just want to note that Van, Mari, Aquila, and Misty are the ones who gather the birds. Then Tori continues to do her thing as Lottie rolls up to the apiary and finds that all the bees are dead. The combs are bloody. She's crying. She gets blood all over. I know when I find a bunch of beblooded honeycombs, my first instinct is to run my hands all over them so that I can then turn my hands to my face, look at the blood, and cry.
Yeah, no, same. Relatable content. This transition too, it's like they're putting the birds at her feet, okay? Then we go to the upstairs window of the cabin and we're looking through that window, which is cracked from Lottie's head.
Yeah.
As we cut to Lottie looking at all these dead bees, which fucking spoiler alert, they're not dead. There is no blood on this hive. This is Lottie's vision. That is not true. And there's a really cool, like, the actual reveal is when this woman from the camp says, "Are you joining for lunch?" But Lottie hears "Il veut du sang." He wants blood in French. But before that, what Jenny, you were saying, like, you clearly rub your hands all in the blood so you can look at your hands. But there's a shot where she's put her hands all through the blood, and then the camera's back up on her and there's no blood on her hands, and it looks like a continuity error because it's before the reveal, but like clearly it was an obvious choice.
The bees are fine.
They're fine.
Lottie
Thank God.
is not.
No. And this is, I think, you know, obviously we have more of a journey to go on with Lottie, but like this break was the first moment when I was like, okay, like I needed all that Lottie that I didn't understand as the Lottie I know from 96 so that I could see her break. Because this is very powerful. A lot of blood. He wants blood, Jenny. He got so much blood. He got Simone's blood. He got teen Shauna's blood. He got fucking... What other blood? The bee's blood. He didn't really get that blood. He got the blood from the chicken that Lisa beheaded. Blood.
Chicken blood. Yep. Probably Randy bled a little bit.
That's true.
Yeah, and slapped around.
And like a little mouth wound. Probably hit a tooth to his lip. Yeah. Triangle Buddy is feasting.
Yeah.
Which is why you can't stop what's coming. You can't stop what is on its way.
Wow.
So?
Well, dare I ask you, Kristin, what's the most 1990s thing in this episode?
Yeah, hit me up.
This is another one of those times when it feels like it's like interchangeable. It's what's the most 90s thing or what's the most New Jersey thing. Ladies' choice.
Great.
Good friend's choice. Is it chillaxing? Is it Randy making Joe Fazio eat a frog during recess? Is it Fanta? Or is it Jeff's workout fit?
Workout outfit?
Yeah.
You said work outfit.
I said workout apostrophe fit.
Oh, fit. Okay. I'm going to say that the most 90s thing is between chillaxing and Fanta. And since my wife was just drinking a Fanta the other day, but I haven't heard anyone say chillaxing in a long time, I'll give it to chillaxing for 90s.
Yeah.
And I think the most Jersey thing is definitely Joe Fazio being forced to eat a frog at recess by Randy.
Ugh, awful. Just awful stuff.
No offense, Jersey, but you know who you are.
Wow.
Do you agree with my assessment, Jenny? Any
No argument from me.
Okay, great. Well, shall we get to buzzing?
Let's buzz. Okay, first thing we want to just mention in this section is that when we were watching in real time, we were like, is Camp Triangle Buddy located at the site of the plane crash in the Canadian wilderness or what? But in this episode, of course, we see the calls are coming from
upstate
New York. Yeah.
They're actually in my backyard. They've been in my backyard this whole time. But I thought it was a good theory that, like, you know, they took Nat because we had no sense of time or like passage of miles. You know, we just knew that Nat was kidnapped. And how fucking creepy would it be if Lottie set up her intentional community right at that same site where the starlings themselves fell?
Speaking of the starlings, okay, Misty suggests there's some kind of like navigational impact on them because of all the iron in the ground. What do you think, Kristin? Any bird theories?
I mean, here's the thing is like, well, I'm going to bring the moose into this because again, this is spoilers, okay? We're in What's the Buzz. The white moose we will see again when it falls through the ice on the lake and is under the ice. And Nat and crew try to pull the moose up from the lake because, food. And it's like, okay, so that was real. That was a real thing. And so the whole thing that the show traffics in is it magic? Is it darkness? Or is it just real life? Is it iron making birds drop? The reason that I find it really hard to extend that to these birds is because of the timing of everything. If I get a nosebleed, you know what? Take away every other piece of context. If I get a nosebleed and then 18 starlings die on my roof, there's no scientific explanation for that. That's too much, man. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Do you have theories?
Is it just a transactional? Triangle buddy got some blood.
So he gives forth some birds to feast upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I hope, and this is not even a spoiler because we really still don't know. I guess it's a spoiler that we still don't know by the end of season 2. But I really hope that there is some fantastical element to this, that it isn't all explainable by science and reason.
Yeah, I would like a healthy mix of the two.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something?
This is What's the Buzz inside of What's the Buzz?
Something from Reddit.
Yeah, I would love it so much.
Somebody pulled a screenshot of a bunch of Sammy's drawings.
Oh, God.
And I'm not sure what episode it's from, but I think we've already seen, right? We've already seen all of the Sammy's drawings we're going to see, right?
I would think so, yeah. I don't think Sammy's too old now to ever come back.
Yeah. So there's oh man, there's one page that is his drawing of the bad one, bad tie, and then a little heart, and then a redheaded woman.
Oh my God, so he drew Van?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That is what it seems to be.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is that Sammy's understanding of things, at least to our knowledge, have always been very literal. He saw Taissa eating dirt and was like, that's the bad one. It's like,
yeah.
So what if, do you think that Van in any way has been around?
Or the bad one has been hey Sammy,
let me tell you
about my redheaded girlfriend.
Oh God. Well, have we buzzed?
I think we've buzzed.
Well, then let's buzz on out of here.
Listen, it can't be denied. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs. And when I'm not getting really sick and then podcasting with Kristin with a voice that is so low, I'm making music. You can find it on jennyowenyoungs.com. You can look me up on your streaming services. You can say hi on socials at Jenny Owen Youngs.
I'm Kristin Russo. I have a middle name. It's Nolene. You can use my first and my middle name to find out about the work that I do with LGBTQ communities. I've never worked with a scenario where I've had one of them draw a triangle buddy on the other one's palm of their hand, but
that you know of.
Yeah, that I know of. It's true. KRISTINNOELINE. You can use that spelling to find me on socials as well.
Buffering, a rewatch adventure, is on socials at BufferingCast, and you can always email us your thoughts, theories, questions, concerns to hello@bufferingcast.com.
If you're listening to this in real time, that means that you support us on Patreon. Thank you. If you're listening to this later, you didn't support us. How dare you? Just kidding.
How could you do this to us?
But
I thought we had something.
If you'd like to help us do the things we do, you can join us there and get, early access to podcasts like this, plus a ton of other perks. Patreon.com/bufferingcast.
This episode was produced by us, Jenny Owen Youngs and Kristin Russo, and edited by Kristin Russo. And till next time. Wow, that was really nice.
If you are caught up in the Barbenheimer frenzy, if you love ranking the Mission Impossible films, if you are just an all-around movie fan, I have a podcast for you. Hello, I'm Amy Nicholson. I'm a film critic who writes for the New York Times, and I am also the co-host of Unspooled, the ultimate movie podcast. Each week, my co-host Paul Scheer and I unspool famous films to see if they are truly all-time classics. From the original 1984 Karate Kid to Children of Men to more recent pictures to Dune, yes, to Citizen Kane, we cover it all. Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.